Hello and welcome to today's Up to Thrive Manage Your Mind Mindful Moment.
Welcome to Up to Thrive, your go-to podcast for women's wellness in midlife, designed to educate, support, and inspire you to live your very best life. And now your host, Dr. Karina Sims.
Today I was hanging some laundry, and at the bottom of the basket I had all these pairs of socks, but the section of the clothesline that I was working in had no more pegs on it. So my clothesline is one of those that has the 4 sections and it spins around. And I have a thing about hanging each load of laundry in its own section, which can be very frustrating because if there's a wind, it will keep trying to blow the line around and it can move as I'm picking up another piece of clothing from the basket. Now, I am aware there are some lines that you can lock in place so that doesn't happen, but mine doesn't do that. So I'm constantly trying to pull the line back as it's trying to move or work really quickly grabbing the clothes from the basket, shake all the wrinkles out quick enough to catch the line before it moves again. It can be really annoying. And apparently some people don't even have this same issue of having to put each load in its own section. My husband, for instance, doesn't give a rip where the laundry goes. If he's hanging laundry and the wind blows a line, he just carries on working with whatever section is in front of him. So when he's finished, the laundry is often scattered throughout all the sections. Could be a pair of socks and jocks here and jeans and shirts there, mixed with towels and sheets, all at various degrees of being dry. So today I was hanging the laundry and I had all these socks and no pegs. At our house, we leave the pegs on the line instead of putting them in a container. So I needed to grab several more pegs to finish hanging the laundry all in the same section as it should be, right? So I counted out how many I needed and I went and collected them from the next section. I needed 7 more pegs. So once I collected them, I had both of my hands full of pegs. And then I went back to the socks. So there I was, grabbing a pair of socks and trying to hang the socks still with all these pegs in my hands. I did this for a couple of pairs of socks, trying not to drop any of the pegs, holding the pegs and the socks in one hand and placing them on the line, and then with the other hand full of pegs, manipulating the pegs in my hand so I could get the end of one of the pegs up to the line, open it, and close it on the socks. Again, very conscious of not dropping any of these pegs. So it sounds ridiculous, but I'm sure I'm not alone in these silly little behaviors. The degree of difficulty was really getting up there. It was actually a little annoying, maybe a lot annoying. And eventually, after probably a couple pairs of socks, I had a thought. Why don't I just put the pegs in the basket with the socks and then pick one peg up at a time as I needed it? So this is what I ended up doing, and it made the task so much easier and less annoying. So then I started to think about all the other times in life that we make things so much harder than they need to be, really for no good reason. Because maybe we don't stop for half a second and ask, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this way? Is this the best way to do this? How can I make this easier on myself? Does this thing really matter? Sometimes it's just the way we've always done something, so we just keep doing it that way, never really considering there could be a better, easier way to do it. And sometimes we're just in a hurry, trying to get all the things done that we need to do, and we intuitively think that this is the quickest way to do it, when in reality, sometimes taking a second to organize yourself could actually be the quickest way. And even if it did take a few seconds longer to stop and organize yourself, could be the easier way on your stress levels. Now, I am all for streamlining and being as efficient as possible. Time is, after all, finite and very precious. Saving time on some things to allow us more time to do the things that we really love, I think is really important. But processes and tasks aren't the only place we can make things harder than they need to be. And not the only place where we could benefit from taking a second to ask some important questions. I once had a patient who came to see me really suffering emotionally, and it was taking a toll on both her mental and her physical health. She was in a situation where her partner had developed some health issues and he needed someone to help care for him. As his partner, she felt that this was her responsibility, so she was the one doing the caring, and it was taking an emotional toll. An emotional toll in this situation because the partner wasn't overly nice. The relationship had been toxic for some time, and he wasn't at all appreciative. He actually expected her to look after him. It was very clear that looking after him was her job. And he even refused to allow someone else to come in and help out from time to time so she could have some time out. So there she was, feeling stuck in this situation, isolated and caring for a man that wasn't even kind to her. I remember talking to her about choices and asking her why she stayed. Her answer was because they were married, and they had been for some years. That was it. That was her reason for giving up what she wanted for her life. I've had this same conversation in varying forms with different women over the years. And look, I am all for the in sickness and in health thing, don't get me wrong. But I think we have to like our reasons for doing things and be very clear about why we're doing them. Not wasting time just going through the motions, living by default, letting life make our choices for us. We always have choices. Maybe none of the choices are the ones you really want, or maybe some choices are harder than others, but there's always a choice. We only have this one life to live. When you're laying there on your deathbed and time is up, what will you wish you'd done differently? Will you be happy with the choices that you made and the life that you lived? If you sacrificed what you wanted for your life for someone else, will you be glad that you did that? Or will you wish that you hadn't? Right now, in midlife, these are crucially important questions to ask ourselves. Where are we making things harder than they really need to be? What are we wasting time on? We all know we're not guaranteed tomorrow. So really, there is no time to waste. As for me, yes, I like my choice to hang all the laundry in the same section. And I know what my choices are. I can get a new clothesline that locks. I can keep doing what I'm doing. Or I can chase the laundry line around with my little laundry trolley. We'll see how we go. Hey, before you go, if you're a midlife woman who wants to feel better in your body, whether that means improving your health, building strength and confidence, or working towards weight change in a kinder, more sustainable way, I have created something especially for you to support you. It's called the Midlife Health and Body Reset Kickstart Guide, and it's a free 7-day foundations guide to help you understand what's going on in your body in midlife and what actually makes a difference from here. You can download it using the link in the show notes. And if you're ready to take that work to the next step and you would like some personalized support to make it work, I run a 12-week midlife reset program where we work together on body recomposition, so losing body fat while regaining muscle, the absolute best thing we can be doing in midlife to combat midlife metabolic convergence. You get a custom strength training program from an exercise physiologist, weekly coaching with me, personalized nutrition guidance, and accountability to help you actually follow through. If that sounds like what you need, head on over to optothrive.com to find out more about the program and maybe even book a call with me to ask me any questions that you have, see if we're a good fit, and see if this program's for you. I hope you've enjoyed this Manage Your Mind mindful moment. And if you have, and you can think of someone else who might enjoy it, please pass it on. And don't forget to rate and review the podcast to make it more visible to those who might get something out of it too. Have a great week, everyone. And until then, I hope you opt to thrive.
The Opt to Thrive podcast is designed for information purposes only and is not engaged in the giving of medical advice. The information provided on the podcast should not be used for diagnosing or treating a health problem or disease. In no way should the information provided by Opt to Thrive be considered medical advice, and at all times the advice of a medical professional should supersede recommendations from Opt to Thrive. If you have or suspect you may have a health problem, you should consult your healthcare provider. The views expressed in this podcast are purely that of Dr. Sims and do not in any way reflect those of the institutions she contracts her medical services to.
Thank you for listening to Opt to Thrive. If you've enjoyed listening, please rate and share the podcast. You can visit our website at opttothrive.com and leave a comment for any subjects you would like to hear more about.